The golden ratio. Did it really create beauty? For centuries, artists, architects, and mathematicians have been fascinated by one mysterious number, approximately 1.618. It is known as the golden ratio, and many people believe it is the secret formula behind beauty itself. From ancient temples to Renaissance masterpieces, this mathematical proportion has often been credited with creating perfect harmony and balance. But is that really true? Did history's greatest artists deliberately use the golden ratio to create beautiful works of art? Or has this idea become one of the world's most enduring myths? The story begins in ancient Greece, where philosophers believed that mathematics governed the universe. They observed patterns in nature, from the spirals of seashells to the arrangement of leaves, and wondered whether the same principles could explain why certain objects appeared more beautiful than others. Centuries later, Renaissance artists embraced mathematics as an essential part of artistic training. Masters such as Leonardo da Vinci studied geometry, anatomy, perspective, and proportion with remarkable dedication. Because of this, many people assume that Leonardo carefully designed every painting using the golden ratio. One of the most famous examples is the Mona Lisa. Countless books, websites, and documentaries claim that her face perfectly fits golden ratio measurements. Rectangles and spirals are often drawn over the painting to demonstrate the hidden mathematical design. However, art historians point out that there is very little direct evidence proving Leonardo intentionally used the golden ratio as a strict formula. Many of these diagrams were created centuries after the painting was completed. The same debate surrounds another masterpiece, The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli. Some researchers find golden ratio relationships within the composition, while others argue that these measurements are flexible enough that similar patterns can be discovered in almost any well-balanced artwork. This raises an important question. If the golden ratio is everywhere, is it truly meaningful, or are we simply finding patterns because we expect to see them? Psychologists call this tendency pattern recognition. The human brain naturally searches for order and symmetry. We enjoy discovering hidden connections, even when those connections may be coincidental. This doesn't mean the golden ratio is meaningless, but it does suggest we should be cautious before declaring it the universal secret of beauty. Scientific studies have also produced mixed results. Some experiments suggest that people slightly prefer rectangles with proportions close to the golden ratio. Other studies find no significant preference at all. Cultural background, personal taste, life experience, and artistic context often influence what people consider beautiful far more than a single mathematical number. Nature itself provides another fascinating perspective. Spirals resembling the golden ratio appear in sunflowers, pine cones, hurricanes, galaxies, and certain shells. Yet nature is wonderfully diverse. Countless beautiful flowers, animals, and landscapes do not follow this proportion precisely. Beauty in nature comes from variety as much as from order. Artists throughout history understood this instinctively. While proportion is certainly important, emotional expression, light, color, movement, storytelling, and symbolism often matter even more. A painting can be mathematically perfect, yet emotionally empty. Another may ignore every supposed rule, while deeply moving generations of viewers. When we look at the great nude masterpieces of history, their lasting power rarely comes from measurements alone. Michelangelo's figures express incredible strength and spiritual energy. Titian's Venus radiates warmth and humanity. Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres elongated the human body beyond natural proportions to achieve elegance rather than mathematical accuracy. These artists made creative choices based on emotion and vision, not simply geometry. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the golden ratio is not that beauty can be reduced to a single equation, but that artists have always searched for harmony between science and imagination. Mathematics can guide composition, but it cannot replace creativity. Numbers may provide structure, yet it is the human spirit that transforms a painting into a masterpiece. So, Did the golden ratio really create beauty? The answer is both yes and no. It has undoubtedly inspired artists, architects, and designers for centuries, offering one powerful tool for achieving balance and harmony. But beauty itself is far more complex than any single number. It lives in emotion, culture, craftsmanship, imagination, and the unique connection between the artwork and the viewer. The golden ratio remains one of history's most fascinating ideas, not because it explains every beautiful work of art, but because it reminds us that the search for beauty is as endless as art itself.